This is lightningesl.com. My Job Diaries. My Job Diaries, what does it mean? Well, this is a series of events that we're talking about when I was just a child up till this day. Everybody's had some kind of a job, some kind of a part-time issue of helping people, doing something. Anywhere from delivering newspapers, working in landscaping, cutting grass, etc. People have done many, many things in their past. And I've met many, many people, believe it or not, who've never worked in their life, ever. Never worked in their life. Basically saying their parents gave them money if they needed money for to go to buy candy at the store and things like that, go to the movies, play this, play that, and they got an allowance of some kind. I never did. I never got an allowance. There wasn't money in the household, income in a sense, to get allowance. So I worked as a busboy, as I mentioned earlier. And you'll find out, as I said before, many times there are bad parts of being this, bad parts of doing that. In other words, the filth, the anger you might get working with people, the job itself. There's many reasons you might not like that particular part-time job. But like anything else, if you can learn how to adapt, you can do almost anything. It's true. So in my first section of this series, I talked about being a busboy. Being a busboy, as you know, might be cleaning tables, has a sound, cleaning tables, setting up tables. But there's a lot of filth, a lot of garbage, a lot of wastage of food that you have to go through in a sense as part of your job. You shake your head sometimes and how people can waste food on their plates so much, or they order so much food for their menu to eat and they hardly ever touch it. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of food. But it goes on all over the planet. It really, really does. So in the second part of this series, I want to talk about another job I've had, which is probably the shortest job I've ever had as a part-time job. It was a summer job, as I mentioned before, for a lot of jobs, mostly summer or weekends. If you're not in school or whatever, in family activities, what are you doing? You're working part-time somewhere doing something. Well, I worked in a factory that actually cut foam. You're saying, what is foam? Well, think about a couch or a pillow. That's foam that goes inside, makes it nice and soft when you touch it or sit on it. So this particular company cut foam. I think it was called Dominion Foam. This is going back, many, many decades ago. I'm not sure if it's still there. So my job was basically to cut foam. Now you say to yourself, how do I do that? Not with the scissors, no. With the huge bandsaw, which is a massive machine, has a long blade, very sharp blade, bigger than myself. And the idea was to take a big slab of foam. A piece of slab of foam was about roughly 12 feet wide. Yeah, 12 feet wide. It was huge. Of course, I didn't lift it and put it on this table to cut. No, a machine did that. But my job was to cut it in certain sizes, like a certain pattern. Yeah. So when I started this particular job, and I was interviewed for the job, the manager said, Brian, don't worry, you'll have a great job here forever and ever. And I said to myself, we'll see. And when I walked into the company area to cut the foam, many people doing the same thing. These massive machines, big pieces of foam on top, and I was pushing things around to a certain pattern to cut here, and so on. The bandsaw is a massive blade that goes up and down like this, very fast. So my job was to do a certain pattern, this way, whatever, to cut the foam. Okay. The job started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and how it works is I put my coat off into the locker and so on. I had to punch a clock. Here I am right now for 8 o'clock shift. Fine. So I walked into the factory floor, and this is my table over there, let's say. And there's a piece of foam on the table, massive piece. The foam was roughly 12 feet wide, square, and roughly 3 feet or 1 yard in height. Big piece. But foam on a big, huge stainless steel table, it's very light, even though it's a larger object, to move around. So there I am. I turn on the machine. Of course, it's loud. I'm wearing headphones because of the noise. And I start positioning my foam to cut through this big, huge bandsaw blade. Everything's fine. And I'm cutting away. Now it's about, let's say, 8:30 or so. I'm still cutting the same piece. I hear, ow, smash. In other words, somebody really screamed loud. And I'm saying to myself, what happened? Turn off my machine. Other machines turned off in the factory. The factory had, let's say, 25 workers in there, all doing the same job as me. I cut off my machine. I turned the button, the red button said stop. I turn around, and there's a gentleman far from me, let's say about, 20 meters from me. And he cut his finger really badly, bleeding everywhere on the foam. The foam was color of white. He's bleeding like crazy. People are helping him. The supervisor is helping him take him to get to the first aid kit and then the future of the hospital and so on. Now it's about 8:45. At about 10 minutes to 9, almost just after 9 o'clock, I hear, ow, again. I turn around like, what happened? A second person cuts their finger. So I said to my boss, walking by at the time, after all this, he says, I go, what happened? What happened? He cut his 2 people cut their finger. This is normal. I go, this is normal? How can this be normal? This is not normal. And he said to me further, well, this is normal, Brian. If you don't like it, there's the door. And I say to myself, what kind of attitude is that? I just started a brand new job here. And you're saying this is normal to cut your finger almost off? I said to myself, no, I'm stopping right there and then. I'm not staying in this company. They don't care about your own personal welfare, mentally or physically. I'm leaving. So now it's coming 10 o'clock in the morning. It was break time. At break time, you have 15 minutes break, coffee break, whatever you have to do. Basically, I said to myself, that's it. I walked to my locker, got my stuff, closed the locker, took my lock away, took my lunch away. I'm leaving. Everybody's like, Brian, where are you going? Where are you going? I said, I'm leaving. A company like this doesn't care about its workers like that. I'm leaving. I started walking to my car to drive home. I'm almost at the door of my car, and my boss in the distance is running after, Brian, come quick, come quick. And I look back and I go, what can I do for you? The boss says, where are you going? Where are you going? I'll tell you where I'm going. I just saw 2 people cut their fingers almost off in the morning shift in less than 2 hours of starting here. And you call this normal? Yeah, but Brian, we call this blood week. I said, what do you mean blood week? Again, this is lightningesl.com talking about my job diaries. And I heard about this. This is a job I had. This is the shortest job I've ever had. After 2 hours, 2 people in a factory almost cut their fingers off. And my supervisor said, this is normal. Sorry, in my world, this is not normal. I said to the boss right in front of me, I said, I'm leaving. Have a nice day. If you want to take care of your workers that way, enjoy. I'm not on a part of this. Sorry, I work for safety and my own well-being. I went in my car, drove home. As soon as I drove home, I told my parents the story, and they both said, my father and mother said, Brian, you did the right thing. Get out of there. It was a waste of time. You're only there for a few hours. You lost nothing. You might have lost some money, but your own welfare is more important than any job. Your health and safety always is more important than any job ever. Ever. I don't care if they give you thousands of dollars an hour. If your life is threatened and they don't care what's going on, and a lack of safety and no training, just as I was, goodbye. I don't want any part of it. This is lightningesl.com, my job diary. When I say the word diary, you might say, what do you mean by diary? Most of the time you say to yourself, the word diary means something written down. Like a daily report, I did this today, I did this today. But your memory also gives you a memory diary in your brain. I remember this, in your memory, in your brain. Some memories are more vivid and more high detail than others. Some you can't remember anymore. But certain details of your life really stand out in a sense you always remember. It's like a filing cabinet. Certain things that are in front of your files in your brain, you can instantly find out what it means. Instantly remember this. So here at My Job Diaries, lightningesl.com here, is talking about jobs I've had in the past. Mostly part-time, before I settle on a position as being a teacher, a very successful teacher. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.